Mary Helen Dara, Taylor Automotive Family, Women in the Driver's Seat. Today we're speaking with Anna Kolin, the visionary behind Inspired Lumber Workshop and Project. In this creative space, people can find resilience, compassion, and their creative purpose, especially first responders and veterans. Let's go talk with this phenomenal woman. Anna, thank you so much for being with us. Your journey started with rebuilding your own home after a devastating flood. How did that experience plant the seeds for what Inspired Lumber Workshop has become today?
Well, when that happened, we had literally just returned from a funeral from Brian's grandmother had passed away. And we were a little concerned on how we were going to handle that. And so when we, just the emotional journey, we were very close with her. And so when we came home and our basement was filled with 6 inches of standing water, we knew we had to do something very quickly. And Brian suffers from asthma and allergies really bad. And by the time that we got in and had the water mitigation company remove everything, and black mold had already started to grow. So it was just a matter of clearing it out, gutting it out, and starting over again, which was just very daunting. But what it did do was it allowed us to shift our focus, and it helped us with grief by reallocating where our minds were and what we thought about. So we dumped everything into just learning how to do all of the things. So we had no idea. At that point, Brian was about as handy as most husbands, right? Like what the expectation is. We had a few tools at the house, but it was pretty, questionable about really doing anything that mattered or that made much of a difference. And so we started YouTubing and started learning how to do, basic things, how to lay out a new floor, how to install drywall, how to do these things. And it was a daunting task to think about doing it. But as he started to do it, he started to find this talent. And it was amazing watching him. After being married for 15 years, to him to see this artistic side come through was really, really impressive. And it was like, gosh, is this real? It was like, we'd start talking about, maybe we should do this, and you could see the creativity started to grow in him, and I got to design it, and he would make what I wanted happen, and so we started to work together as this team. But what we found very quickly was that we needed more tools, we needed more space, we needed to be able to do what we needed to be able to do it right, because that's the key. Is if you can do anything, but if you don't have the right tools for it, and you don't know how to do it, you're not going to do it well, and you're going to lose your confidence, or you're just going to put it aside. So we moved out to the garage. Well, I kicked him out to the garage, to be fair. You got to do this here. But we're in Northwest Ohio, right? And so you talk December, January, February in Northwest Ohio, nothing's happening in the garage. And so that kind of, he started doing small projects for other people, mudrooms. He started doing decks, small, projects. And before we knew it, it was a love that it was clear that this was what he was destined to do, but we couldn't do it where we were. And so fast forward, COVID happened, and I at that point was working for Fifth Third Bank, and I got sent home from Fifth Third, and I was looking out my window, and I genuinely thought, this is how he's going to die. Like, he was using tools that were not the right way to use the tools. And I thought to myself, we have to do something better. Our neighbor was also in the same boat. And after watching them go through this and then having weeks between being able to do things because the snow was too high, we started looking for a commercial space for the two of them to work together, to collaborate on projects. They'd each run their own independent businesses, but they would be able to work together safely in learning how to, to do these things. So as we started looking for commercial space, we started talking about, well, there's got to be more than just these two guys who are having the same issue in Northwest Ohio. So we started thinking, okay, we'll add 3, 4, 5 other woodworkers into it. We'll get the insurance, we'll collaborate again, but we'll have this creative space, which isn't unusual. Cities have those, so that's not anything new. But late night conversations, when you start working with your husband, it's like you lay down in bed at night and you just start talking. And it's like these late night conversations shifted to, if we shifted our focus from producing things to instead providing access and education, then everybody wins. We don't have to keep chasing the job. And we can teach people how to use the tools safely and how to be creative. And we became a hotbed or a space, a creative outlet for people to be able to come in here and learn how to use the tools. So that flood we lovingly refer to as our disaster-tunity. We took an opportunity coming out of heartbreak to learn how to use things, to properly learn how to do them, to self-teach ourselves. He's then since then went on to learn how, and actually went through classes to learn how to do them properly as well. But we took that opportunity to really genuinely shift our lives. Our entire trajectory of our lives changed when that flood happened, and we took the opportunity and made something new out of it.
That's great. What inspired you to specifically create a 6-week woodworking program for veterans?
So right away, we knew that veterans and first responders were a population of individuals that we wanted to service. I have family members who are veterans and first responders, quite frankly, and there's just not enough services for them out there to battle the PTSD and those silent issues that so many of them come home with on a daily basis. And so we weren't sure what we wanted to do, but we got the business up and going. And early on, we started having a conversation with another small nonprofit here in Toledo called Christian's Corner Foundation. And they had this idea about doing something similar to it, but they didn't have the resources to be able to make it happen. We kind of talked about it and we're like, well, we can make the program and we have the resources to make it happen. And so we sat down and developed this program, the 6-week program. And we partnered a lot with the funding that year with Lucas County Veteran Services Commission and with Christian's Corner Foundation. And then got about 2 cohorts into the program and realized that what we were doing and how it was impacting these veterans, and at that point it was just veterans, was clearly something that had so much more traction than what we would be able to do through anybody else. And so with my background in nonprofit management, we said, well, we could do this. That's fine. So I reached out and I actually connected because Toledo has so many nonprofits and I didn't want to double up if there was already something out there. And I was told by everybody, no, this is something you absolutely need to do. And so we started through that process. And
And here you are.
And here we are, 181 veterans and first responders now who've graduated the program, and it's growing rapidly. There's so much about what they do when they come here that really isn't about the woodworking. We kind of refer to it as the woodworking as the vehicle, but it's not necessarily about the woodworking. We are not about perfection. There's a lot of errors that happen, and that's beautiful because you learn in the errors that you make. If everybody walked in and just did it perfectly, we wouldn't need to be here, right? So
Just like in
people come
life.
in, absolutely, right? So by having them come in here and be vulnerable enough to learn a new skill at whatever age they're coming in, it was pretty impactful.
All right, well, you've touched on this a bit, but could you walk us through what veterans experienced during those 6 weeks and beyond just learning woodworking skills?
Absolutely, yeah. So in the 6 weeks, the first week they actually take our traditional intro to woodworking or safety class. Okay, so this is offered to anybody. Anybody can come in and utilize the wood shop through our membership. And this is the first point that everybody has. They have to take a safety and intro to woodworking class. It is required by our insurance. It ensures that everybody knows how to use the tools and no fingers are going to get lost.
I was going to say
Digit count is important.
Yes.
We want to make sure everybody leaves with the same amount they came in with. So they spend the first week making a toolbox similar to this. I made this toolbox, just as a side note. They come in and they use that. So they go through, they'll take a board and they'll actually have to plane it down to the right size, cut it down. They do measuring, they do all of the different things, and they learn those fundamental skills on the tools. Then we have them make a project because it helps them to navigate through that space and to kind of feel more comfortable in the space. Again, we do the same thing with everybody who comes in to get into the wood shop. After that, they start working on the projects. And so we've kind of dialed in on doing this foot locker because it seems to be fitting with both first responders and with veterans. This foot locker is just a great intro class. They go through the process over the 6 weeks of learning how, again, to those foundational skills of the cutting, planing things down, getting to the size, getting comfortable with the tools. But over those 6 weeks, they create this custom foot locker. They're using the laser engraver. They can personalize them. Many of our foot lockers have gone on to be toy chests for a lot of the grandkids, which is wonderful. And we love to see the pictures of what they've become. Once they're done with the actual 6-week class, they actually become part of if they want to become part of our build team, which we then have these folks go out obviously under our guidance, and we do projects out in the community, doing good things. I always think of it as good people doing good things in the community. It's just, It's a wonderful thing. On top of it, we also give them a membership so they can continue to come work at their own pace, learning what they want to, how they want to. We always have a support system here, so if they have questions or anything in the shop, there's always somebody here to assist them. They have to bring in their own wood, which is fine, but we've also received a lot of donations of wood specifically for the veteran program, and they always have a space here at a table to be able to come back. If they're struggling getting out of their house, this is one of the first places that they'll come. So,
Safe
yep,
haven.
it's a safe space.
Wonderful. What changes have you witnessed in veterans and first responders as they discover purpose and camaraderie through this hands-on creation?
Yeah, so that is such an amazingly wonderful part of this, and everybody's journey is completely different. And I'll likely cry here, so I'm going to say that ahead of time. We have had veterans who, our oldest veteran I think that we had go through was 85. Our youngest one was in their mid-20s, still currently actually enlisted out at the reserves. They have come in here. I've had people tell me that this program saved their marriage. I've had 2 different veterans who have told me that they could not leave their homes. They were struggling with actually just getting out. So one brought her husband with her to every one of the classes. During the course of that, she actually went blind. So we held onto her program. She had a medical issue, and she went through the process of getting that done, and she's now come back, and she's actually signed up to do our 2.0 class. And so it's like they get this confidence. And it doesn't matter if they're good or if they're not good. That doesn't make a difference. They're learning the skill. They're coming back in, and they're doing it. But when we hear things like this program and the confidence that it gave them, whether or not that was confidence to leave their home or confidence with the tool, that confidence is getting them more comfortable, and it's giving them a resource to be able to help them with their mental health. And so the level of that connection with these vets and these first responders is so different, and everybody's journey is so different. But whatever issues they have, it brought them to us. And now they have an opportunity in this community of all of these other individuals who have lived the same or similar path that they have, who understand. They have a whole family now of people here who understand that. So it is absolutely about the mental health, and it's about providing that space. So while the journey may be different, it's just as beautiful for everybody.
Yeah. Oh, you can see that stepping in the door here. All right, buckle up. It's a lightning round questions. Okay. Favorite wood to work with?
Walnut, hands down. Love walnut. That's what this is, this curvy edge. And actually, we have this. That came from the Toledo Country Club. We have a beautiful walnut tree that came from it, and I'm so excited because it's just gorgeous. Oh, it was a down tree, so.
All right. Sanding, relaxing or tedious?
Well, so this seems to be an issue. People either love it or hate it. I personally don't mind it, but my husband has me he wants a t-shirt that says, have you ever considered that maybe sanding doesn't like you either? And I'm like, you know what? You're absolutely correct. So I personally don't mind sanding.
I'll be waiting for the t-shirt.
Yeah, but some people, boy, they just hate it.
Music in the workshop or a quiet focus?
For me personally, I stream Netflix.
Really?
I do. Yeah, I do. I don't need to watch it. I just need to hear it. And so I stream.
Well, I hope you're not watching as you're working with some of the equipment here.
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not.
Good.
But we always have music on back there, but it's really funny. We have some who, when they come in, we have about 8 guys who work for us. And so it depends on who comes in. There'll be classical, there'll be hard rock, there'll be Metallica's going on in there. There's 80s, there's 60s. It's such a wide range. I've even heard disco go on in the wood shop. So I just put my AirPods in and listen to Netflix.
That's great. What most meaningful project you've seen a veteran complete?
Oh, gosh. So because everybody's stories are so different, meaning there's so much. Gosh, we have one veteran who has made, I would say he's probably made 15 or 20 absolutely stunning, beautiful cutting boards for all of his family members. They're all over the country now, and he always signs the edges of them. He laser engraves them with "Love, Bob." So they're very personal to him. It's so beautiful. We have an officer, a Toledo police officer, who made his mom a noodle board for on top of her stove, and he took her favorite. We did it together. We did this with burn paste, and we took her favorite biblical phrase and we burned it on the top of this noodle board for her. So it was so personal and custom. And every one of these projects that people are making are like that. We just had one of our firefighters actually who made an absolutely stunning cedar chest. I'm not sure who it's for, but whoever the recipient is, they are absolutely very lucky. So the projects are so different.
It's amazing how they're healing through also giving
Absolutely.
as well. It's
yeah,
a beautiful
they
process.
they have access to be able to come in and personalize and make whatever they want. But I think the cutting boards, Bob's cutting boards, probably got me.
All right, one word that describes the workshop community.
Purpose. I don't have just one word, but purpose is it.
Purpose
but
is the
blessed
big
purpose,
one.
creative. I mean, there's so many, but purpose. This place really, not only for the veterans and the first responders through that program, but this is, for even the individuals who are coming in and learning how to do something. Just to be able to come in here and learn how to do it correctly and be able to give back in whatever capacity. If we learned anything during COVID, it was that we needed to rely on ourselves and figure out how to be able to do that if your job just wasn't there. My husband lost his job in the midst of it. They just disappeared. And so by being able to do something like this and providing people a tangible skill that they can always come back to and always rely on, there's nothing wrong with that. And on top of it, it's a pretty awesome community of people. So it's fun. It's hanging out with your brothers and your sisters and just having a good time. I get to play mama and nurse. They got a lot of splinters, but it's a great spot. Purpose.
Well, it has been very purposeful being with you today. It's thank you for sharing your mission, and thank you for all you do to impact our community. Thank you, Anna, for sharing your mission here and your purpose, and for all that you do to positively impact our community. Let's hit the road and see who's next in the driver's seat.